Man, how the f these cheating ass, bleed cheating mother. What the f? I don't know what I'm supposed to do, man. It just says my position. Well, guess what? I ain't earned event points. How the f do I? It says something about raid bosses list empty. Complete campaign missions or hero challenges for a chance to spawn bosses. What the f is that? Am I supposed to use certain tunes? I don't know. What the f? Man, shit. I don't know. I guess go do random missions? I don't know. Somebody tell me. Man, shit, man, we need some Skyping on this motherfucker. I'm lost.
Alright, this is Hate Mail, and with me today is Kage and Loot. We're going to talk about what we thought about raids, and then we'll also get in a little bit about the new characters coming out. Alright, so about raids, let's go ahead and start with you, Loot. What did you think about raids? I know you ran into the nasty bug that came out. So what was
so it started off with a huge bang. I was like so excited. And I hit the raids really, really hard. I think I was super close to getting really close to Lucas and Kage, and I was like really enjoying myself. And then I hit the bug, and the bug that I'm talking about, I couldn't get any bosses to spawn. So I hit 40 million points and then hit a wall. No matter what I did, I couldn't get any bosses.
Now, did you clear your cache? Clear your boss list?
Everything was clear. So I cleared my list.
And you couldn't get nothing.
I did 3,000 PvE energy worth of testing just to figure out, is there a certain node that might work? So I tried them all.
Now, did you do at any point let it sit for a while?
Yeah. I did. I let it sit while I was sleeping. So I'd say it got a good 7.5 to 8 hours of downtime. And then when I woke up, I heard, I saw you message that you were able to get some bosses spawning, and, I tried it again, and
I had the same thing happen to me last night. I was about 78 million. I'd finally started to catch up because I got out of work late, and Kage was cheating since he kind of knew how the thing went and went blazing.
Oh my god,
blazing guns. So,
all of Reddit was calling me out for it. They're, how does this guy have 25 million points already? I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, and I think the better question is how did Lucas get 33 million points and surpass you within 5 minutes?
Well, once people figured it out, they just start grinding hard. And
what they did? What WE actually did is they actually nerfed my drops. So I was only getting 35 and 56 bosses for 5 hours.
I don't think they nerfed you. I don't think they have the capability of nerfing you individually. But they
have a feeling
sort of banned.
You're right.
But and then of course other people were saying because the Court of Owls won. I saw chatter on Reddit, people saying that we cheated since me and Kage knew how to do stuff. But me and Kage weren't running the alliance bosses at all. That was all Loot. Because he got locked out.
So I do want to take credit for it. I had nothing else to do, and I was really, really, really upset. So what did I do? I bought so much purple raid energy, and I just went nonstop ham on the bosses. Constant.
Oh my god.
I didn't give up. I didn't stop.
I don't think people understand just how... if you just look at the PvP scores, Loot is a machine. Him and Miller Time just are crazy. So
you guys are grinders at heart.
Yeah,
seriously.
Hard.
Yeah, I love the grind. I love grindy games. I don't mind doing it. it gives me something to do just to take my mind off of like work or family stuff or whatever.
And so I ended up getting locked out that evening, and I was so close to 100 million, so I was really upset. And then I woke up in the morning, and I didn't clear my boss list or anything. I didn't do any of the things you're supposed to do. I was like, well, I guess I better just use up some of my energy before I go to work. And I was running Chapter 1 Heroic, and then they started spawning again. I saw some posts on Reddit where people had gotten locked out, and then later on they were able to unlock themselves. It looked like, I guess, Miller Time was locked out for a while, and then he learned late in the day that he was able to unlock himself.
So I don't think he was locked. I think he locked himself out because he didn't clear his cache.
Yeah.
My cache was empty.
But in the morning, my cache had like 40 bosses from everybody sharing and killing them and everything. And then I could spawn bosses, no problem, which was weird. So I don't know. I don't understand how it works. I know it's been reported. You know, I think Stanner said on one of the Reddit posts, responded to somebody, I think it was Fries, that they're looking into it. They're trying to figure out what the problem is. So,
I think you just actually said something that's really important. When you woke up, you had this huge, huge list of grayed out fights that you had to hit dismiss on. I had the exact same thing. And it took me a good 2.5 to 3 minutes of constant tapping to get rid of them all. I'm really hoping, WB devs, please hear me. I'm really hoping that there's a dismiss all button. Or, even better,
just don't put them there.
Just don't put them there. Just as soon as the boss is dead, clear it out. We don't need to see the list. It doesn't matter to us. It doesn't do anything for us. We can't do anything with it.
Well, so I don't know if I think I saw, wasn't there a post asking for feedback? Someone posted.
I think there was. I haven't gotten a chance to post mine yet.
So, you know, I will say that they have been really good, especially in the last while, about listening to feedback and really taking to heart. This was, in their own words, you know, kind of a trial run. They wanted to test out, you know, the feature, the functionality before they do more things. So, you know, if you have feedback, things you didn't like, things you did like. Now, I know a lot of people were upset about the timer, which I'm kind of surprised by that. I do eventually want to see something different, like a turn meter, a turn-based, you know, an X number of turns, and then different functionalities for a boss. This was a DPS race, or, you know, as much damage as you could do in a short amount of time. In that scenario, you need a timer. It's just too easy.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
So I understand why you wouldn't want it in certain scenarios, but in other scenarios, you don't want to be able to just solo a level 150 boss, no problem, because you can stack up death immunity. That's just, I mean, it's kind of, I don't want to see cheesing in it so much. Where, you know, obviously this would get old quick if that's all it was, but if when other bosses come out, and I'm sure there will be other ones, I'm sure Darkseid obviously will make an appearance sooner than later. You know, I hope there's other things. Cool ideas I'd like to see is like, you know, one neat one with a timer would be like a 3-minute timer, and then all of your characters have to stay alive, and then the boss does like debuff, you know, debuffs you and different things, so you can't just hide behind death immunity. You have to mend and heal and do different things to keep yourself alive, and if all your characters are alive at the end, you win. That would be nice.
I like that. I think that they can do a lot with that. I think modifiers could be used in a really clever way. I think, you know, that other game that we were playing had a similar feature where we all beat up the bosses, and it had modifiers, and it was really cool. So, for example, you couldn't put a bleed. Let's say you try and put a bleed on the boss. If you do that, he kills your whole team. So, obviously, don't bleed him out, because you'll die.
Yeah, I mean, things like that, or you have to keep the boss stunned throughout the entire battle, or you die.
Exactly.
You could do, there's so many different things they could do.
Or, hey, maybe he needs to be silenced the whole time. Give me a reason to use Rise.
Yeah, or they have to have bleeds on them the whole time, or they stack some debuff on you. So there's all kinds of things you could do. And then he could purge so many bleeds, so you have to keep stacking them up. And I mean, there's a lot of neat things they could do, or it could even be phased into the fight. So like once they get to half life, We see all those in the other game.
I
They get to
love that
half-life.
idea.
You have to bleed them to half-life, but then after half-life, you have to do something else. There's so many cool things they could do, and that's what excites me about this more than anything else. Is so many people are very narrow-minded. Oh, this stinks. I don't like it. This is too easy, or this is too hard, or whatever. This is just the first iteration. This isn't the only thing it's going to be.
To be fair, though, one of the criticisms left for the raids was that the trial run is usually a reflection of, usually a reflection of the final product. So that's just kind of the concern. Is like, hey, well, if this is what the final product is going to look like, then I'm out of here.
But these people, I mean, that's a stupid argument because it's already been told to us by Warner Brothers themselves that Steppenwolf is just the herald. There's another boss coming, which we know is Darkseid. So, I mean,
right.
That's.
And I'm sure there'll be other. I mean,
well,
doesn't he
that
have
part
like
of it.
a whole set of minions? Aren't there like other bosses that are under him?
Yeah, and I mean, granted, we don't know that anything else besides Darkseid is coming, so that is a valid criticism in that regard. But it seems, in just the feedback we've gotten and the things we've seen, it seems like, for whatever reason, it seems like either they've been working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes for a long time and now it's all ready to roll out. It's all like kind of slow rolling out, or they've gotten more resources to the game. Whichever the case, I don't know which one that is. That's a great thing to be happening. It's great for the game because, I mean, 3 months ago, we all thought this game was like going to turn off the server soon. And I admit, I started thinking the same thing.
I thought so.
And then
that dog's like,
then somebody let the dog out.
I want you to know the dog is 13 pounds and he thinks he's an attack dog. Let me close my door.
I'm going to say this, that there is room to improve, obviously.
Oh, obviously.
I will admit that the stretch between winning the Superman frags all the way to the 5 gold tokens or whatever was super grindy, and I wanted to shoot myself.
Yeah, that was a lot of points. It was great rewards, and then, oh my God, now I need 30 million points.
Yeah. And how did you put up 30 million points this morning if you couldn't get any bosses?
We were all sharing.
Well, that's because I'm in an alliance, and all of my friends hit the share button. So I was able to get the rebirth tokens because I was able to beat up on the level 150s to close it out. And if I didn't have my team, if I didn't have you guys, I would not have gotten it done.
And speaking of which, shout out to the second place alliance, Rogues of Reddit. They are mostly F2P players, and they beat out a whole host of other whale alliances in the Alliance War.
Oh,
so
congrats.
Yeah, it's also new names. Who was the number one for crystals altogether? Oh, wait.
Some Luffy guy.
It looks like we have a special guest who wants to join us. Let me pull him in real quick.
Ooh, it's a surprise guest. This is fun.
It's a surprise guest.
Who's the surprise guest, I wonder?
I'm trying to pull him in right now.
Well, while he's pulling him in, I just want to tell the entire community, Loot finally has Donna Troy. Woo!
All right.
I bought all the packs. Boom. L5.
How much money was that? $500?
I don't know. I don't even care. I literally took my money out of my pocket, threw it up in the air, and started dancing.
And now with us we have M4. It's been a while, M4. Welcome back.
Thank you. Nice to be back.
Hi, M4.
Hey, Loot. We've known each other for 2 years and we've not spoken a single word till now.
That is true.
M4 is probably the most, I would say he's probably the smartest DC Legends player I know. And for those of you that haven't heard of M4 before, he's in multiple alliances across the spectrum. And you have 2 accounts, right? Only 2.
Well, I quit last month. I couldn't keep up.
Oh, really?
And I'm not going to, it's because of that other game that I'm not going to mention.
We're all quitting.
Well, since you're all breaking up with that game now, you're all back to DCL, right?
I'm all in with DCL, but I don't think I can do 2 accounts anymore. I mean, the other one has fallen behind, so what's the point in keeping 2 accounts?
Just run on auto, wait for a good sale, go all in.
And then raids, if they become a more frequent thing. That
After last night, no, I don't want to do twice of that.
I remember when I had an alt account in the same alliance of my main account.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember.
That's when we were really trying to win.
Did you pump money into that alt?
Yeah, man. I ran that alt account like people run their main accounts.
Oh my god.
You're asking Loot if he put money in it.
Yeah, I was going to say, that is a stupid question. I haven't known Loot that long, but the short amount of time that I've known him now, I know that's a dumb question.
Yeah, I went a little crazy on the last game. I'm trying not to do that again.
Yeah, you went absolutely insane.
I heard you caught up to beta testers in 2 weeks.
He was the #1 player in 2 weeks.
I was.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
He was #1 in an event. He didn't quite have the
I
roster
didn't.
that some
I
guys
didn't
had.
overtake the PvP gods that had the crazy rosters.
Which he
but-
couldn't. I mean, there was just no way. It's impossible.
Impossible. I
But
would have had to have spent like a good 100K.
Maybe in 2 more months, maybe.
exactly.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have a house.
Yeah, I'd be mortgaged in his house.
But anyway, back to DC.
Okay, so let's find out M4. Let's get your thoughts. We just kind of talked through what we liked about raids and kind of our overall thoughts. What were your overall thoughts? How do you like the event? Is this something that you want to see in the future, etc.?
All right. So for a beta release, it's great. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's really good. It shows a lot of promise. So for one thing, I would love it to be at least 3 days long. I don't want to do that for...
No, do not make it 3 days long.
To get 1 million, 100 million. And that was a lot of playing. I played about a week's worth of DCL in one night.
I was barely hanging on to the top 10. No, I don't want it. Because I know someone's going to spend me.
I mean, but I want 3 days at least. Or let's say 2 days to get to 100 million.
I'd say let's just do a weekend. So people, when run their upgrade events on Saturday, they get their boss nodes, whatever, get that out of the way, and then Sunday, everyone's just chilling, finishing their showdowns, and then finishing up raids, and then everyone goes home.
Oh, wait, I think I know what the problem is. There was an artificial gate. We could not cross, what was the level of the boss?
90.
90, I think.
Oh, 90.
No. We were gated for a few hours. And then they opened the gates at reset, right? So if we could get to 150 right away, maybe it's not that bad.
Well, originally I didn't think they would.
We had to wait. I remember.
Originally I didn't think they would, ever do a longer time period. But then I realized that most people didn't have to spend a lot of gems because it gave you so much energy. I mean, I read somewhere somebody spent 250 gems and was able to get all the way to tier 35.
Right. It's one of those rare times that DCL kind of gave us like the rewards, because I think it's a perpetual motion engine. Once you get energy, you just win it back, right? And I'm talking about PvE energy and raid energy. You never run out.
I ended up spending some because I was speed forcing Chapter 8 normal. But it's worth it because it's minimal cost and you gain so much resources. I mean, I'm over 150 million green essence now.
Oh, that is not
I'm at 110. I'm at 110. It's the XP that's the bottleneck.
I'm at 7.
What?
7 million.
Well, he's still buying gear and stuff because.
Right.
Remember, I took like 9 months off.
Okay, got it.
He's almost caught up. All right. Anyway, back to raids. So, if you're very, very careful about your energy expenditure, you don't have to spend any gems. Like do the chapter 8 normal or even chapter 1 normal, that's 5 energy above. And then you get a boss and you do the MVP and you'll get 15 energy, I believe. So you actually gain more than you spend.
Yeah, so I was telling people to just farm chapter 1 normal, just because you would get a better return on your energy. And yeah, the XP and the green essence sucks, but you're getting more PvE energy back just so you can go do your other stuff.
But remember that people like Kage, who's always complaining they don't have any green rings, willpower. If you're just doing chapter 8 normal, the last node, you have more than you'll never ever run out.
All right, so that's regarding the resources. So for the boss challenge, I know it's basically the DPS, right? But it opens so much potential because they didn't follow what the kit of the boss is. Like he does it. What's his name? Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf
Cannot purchase debuffs automatically, right? So it opens up a lot of things for the future bosses. Let's say someone is immune to physical damage or can only be damaged by bleeds, right?
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit before you come on. You just how much potential there is for future bosses. Though, and I understand some of the community's fear that maybe there's only one other boss and then everything's going to remain the same like Red Alert's forever. But hopefully, there's other bosses with more complex mechanics, which they seem to be taking, a lot of our feedback to heart. So I really think that is one of those things that seem to be pretty unanimous across the community, that we like this is a good first step, but we really want to see more complex boss fights in the future, especially big, hard ones. And the note that they say Darkseid could take, the entire server worth of people to attack, that's awesome.
Definitely.
So there's a lot of cool things I think they're going to roll out. We don't know exactly what that is yet, but I have a feeling it's going to be sooner than later. According to the in-game legendary app, it says coming very soon.
Irony is not lost on them.
Yeah.
So what is very soon mean?
They suddenly gained some, sense of humor.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
No, they've always been trolling us.
I like that they did that because isn't that OC's in-game name?
Coming soon, yes.
Yeah, coming soon.
So, and then also they did have, I don't see it on here anymore. I don't know where to find it, but they did do a podcast for the first time in forever and a YouTube video. And we learned...
And I made a cameo.
Yeah, apparently Kage. I haven't actually had a chance to watch it yet. So Kage had
They took it down.
What?
Yeah, it was only up for like a little while, and it's gone now.
You mean the in-game mail? The mail sometimes disappears.
The in-game part, yeah.
Let me see.
But probably still on Warner Brothers YouTube site.
I'm sure it's still there.
Yeah. And we also learned Stanner's real full name.
What was it?
William Beatrice.
You know that was fake, right?
That's the joke. No.
God, I'm really slow when it comes to ruses, so I probably would have believed it if it were a little bit more believable.
So we're starting to run to keep this not from being too terribly long. Let's move on to just the new characters that are coming out next month. We don't know a whole heck of a lot yet. We only know that who the reworks are and who the new characters are. Let's start with you, Kage. What do you think of the reworks and the fact that we're getting reworks that are reworked, and then the 2 new characters that are coming out?
So when I saw the list this morning, I was like, what? Why would you? But okay, that was it. That was my only thought. But
that's insightful.
I have Black Adam geared, and I find him so underwhelming in PvP, unless you pair him with like Deadshot, and I really hate running Deadshot nowadays. Just kind of burned out from using him. I really hope that Black Adam is so much better. I think he's going to do a lot more damage now. That was probably one of his biggest weaknesses. And Shazam, I I don't really have thoughts on him. I've never used him. But I heard he's kind of underwhelming ever since Donna Troy kind of came into the game.
I still really like Shazam, and I know M4, you like Shazam, correct?
I do. He only needs one thing to be good. Turn 0 taunt.
No. That's Donna Troy's spot. No, thank you.
I don't know if he doesn't have to have it, especially if you're running Brainiac because he's fast enough. I do wish it was a lot more turn 0 taunters, though. I really
the
do.
problem is his taunt is not his third move, so he's not gonna do it on defense. That's the problem. He can be as fast as Batwoman, but he's still not gonna use it until turn 2.
Well, I think they could. Well, they could just reprogram him to use it on defense, kind of like they did with several other characters that used to not do certain things. So maybe with his rework, maybe they'll update his AI.
But they only do that to nerf AI, not to buff them, right?
No, Cyborg, they actually changed his AI to you just spam his basic. Yeah.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
I haven't used it in a while, so.
How about you, Lou? Have you used Shazam?
I have Shazam at L5, and I've never used it. Not
he's
even
actually
once.
really good since the original rework. I mean, I wouldn't say really good, but he's good since the original rework. Paired with Donna Troy, he's actually pretty decent.
So I totally decked him out with L5, but I never did any. I don't even think he's skilled right now.
You just got so much money, you can gear characters and never use them and not think about it.
He looked fun I was thinking about using him, so I was like, it's just 100K legendary essence.
Yeah,
I have to read these kits, and I think to myself, am I really going to use this character? Am I really going to use them?
Well, the problem is out of the 100 characters, there's only like 10 or 20 that anybody actually uses.
That's the sad part, right?
But
is so
it
sad.
has been changing slowly with Siege and Showdowns, and now the Raids feature hopefully will open up more of that. So we are starting to see a little bit of a shift. So I would say that those are.
I just got another idea for raids. Possibly even team bonuses.
Team bonuses?
Like if you use the whole Bat family, you get like some kind of like new perk that like only the Bat family, when you use them all together, gets.
That would be cool.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just throwing out ideas.
Yeah, I think there's so much potential. They created a feature, because think about what Showdowns, they did a bunch of different neat things, and I think they're probably going to do, because I don't think, now that the whole functionality and features in place, it can't be that hard, especially if they're using characters that already have art in-game, and just tweak them to be a big raid boss. So while Darkseid will be a cool big event, after we've done Darkseid a bunch of times and that event's over, they could do other features. We could fight Yellow Lantern Sinestro for a Green Lantern event, or we could fight Doomsday for a Superman event. So there's so many things they could do.
Oh my god, you're right.
And I don't think it would
really
be
cool.
a ton of, obviously it's going to take some programming, but it wouldn't be a huge, because building this functionality and being able to have alliances work together on things, that I'm sure was a ton of work and a ton of programming. But just to add the bosses later, I think will be, less work and something they could do a little easier with less resources.
You know what would have been cool? If they could make the bosses slightly bigger.
I don't see why they couldn't.
I would love it if they were bigger. I was thinking the same thing. Make Steppenwolf even larger.
I want to see Giganta.
Make them massive.
I want to see Giganta even bigger. Just step on me.
I guess then they would say, but is there enough screen real estate to do that? Well,
only if you have an
you just make your team a little bit smaller, and you can then size the boss bigger.
Just move the camera back a little bit, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, I was actually disappointed with the Alliance raids, because there was just the only thing you could win was Alliance essence. Like, wow, who needs that?
There's purple currency that I don't know where it goes, right? It's probably a new...
No, that wasn't currency. I figured out what it was. That was our points.
Yeah, that's your
point.
Like
when we had 90 million of that currency, and then I looked it up in the leaderboards.
Oh, and that's it. Okay.
And that was our points.
And then what's the blue bubble for?
The blue bubble is your personal solo points.
Oh, okay.
Come on, May. You're not living up to the smartest DCL player I know.
Well, I'm not gonna confirm or deny that I was playing with my phone at minimum brightness at my side doing something else.
All right.
So this interrupted your honeymoon, I take it.
Nothing like that.
All right, guys. Well, anything else before we wrap this up?
Shout out to all the alliances who competed hard against the Owls.
But you're just not whaley enough.
Yeah.
If you want to win,
No,
okay,
that's not true. Kage's F2P Alliance is number 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing about this. These raids were super free-to-play friendly. And I've seen a few complaints on Reddit. Oh, it's just for whales. It's so expensive.
No,
But no.
First of all, I didn't really spend any money, to be honest.
No.
The only thing I spent money on was a waste because I was trying to get bosses to spawn. So I was literally trying everything I could think of, and that's where I spent my gems. When it came to actual boss fights, I didn't really spend anything.
Yeah, and if you didn't get the bug, I mean, granted, the people with the bug ended up spending a fortune because they got bugged, which was unfortunate. That bug did stink. But then there was this group of people that got the bug that they got a ton of free gold in the mail. So there was a very positive bug that came out too. So if you're one of those lucky people, then
Congrats.
yeah, congrats.
Yeah, you jerks.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening, and we'll be back next week.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of WROL Broadcasts, a subsidiary of the Oddsman and We Are Legends. To view additional content and support the show, please go to patreon.com/WROL Broadcasts.